they get. The longest distance covered will obviously win the competition. So it's a real max out event. Then after a short blow, the finale event is one that most people are very familiar with and associate with strongman. It's the stones of strength, the Atlas stones, the McGlashan stones. They've gathered many names over the years. The big round balls, and these range from 100 kilos, this little bad boy here, up onto the highest part of the wall, loading the stones in order onto each appropriate height platform until you come to the bad boy at the end, which weighs 180 kilograms, which is massive. That has to be lifted onto the wall, and that will be a magnificent run of stones for strongman here today. I think there's a couple of guys that are more than capable of doing that too. And if you can see from there, we have this magnificent trophy. This is the Pee-wee, we call him. He's a unique trophy to Renegade Strongman, manufactured to our own specifications. He's a total freak, like hopefully most of our athletes, but that is what the winner will be taking home today, along with the tickets to the Giants live show in Doncaster. And according from there, we've got the second and third place and medals for the rest of the guys who will have to go away and try another day to come back. Now, it's not impossible that a second place here will get somebody invited to a Giants live further down the year. We're pushing hard to get as many of our athletes into some of the international events that are taking place all over the world. So the guys will be ready just a few more minutes to get them up to their starting weight, which will be 300 kilos. So bear with us, it's a very cold day. The last thing we want is an injury. So I'm going to give these guys plenty of chance just to get their body parts to the correct temperature for lifting these massive weights. Just going to give the guys a few more minutes, and I'm going to introduce our athletes and the running order, and we will get the show on the road. I hope you'll support these guys, and I hope also you'll tune in. I know it's a little while to wait because it will be the Doncaster show. It will be December before it's shown on TV of this year, but it'll be well worth the watch, and you'll be able to see where it all started from. And of course, the top three from a Giants live show go to World's Strongest Man, which is the ultimate challenge in strongman, the ultimate thing that people want to aspire to. And hopefully, we'll get somebody again there. We have had an athlete from there in the past, James Fenley from Kilkenny, who won the championship 2-3 times, I think, went forward to Europe's Strongest Man, put in an exceptional performance, and carried an invitation to World's Strongest Man. More than possible that that can happen again, and I'd just love to see it for one of our athletes competing here today. Who knows? There's some magnificent athletes in the world of strongman today. We've got Hapthor Bjornsson, who's a 450 kilo deadlifter. The guy can lift just about anything that's put in his way, a phenomenal force, and he's also got an acting role on Game of Thrones, and you'll probably see him on there as the Mountain. Another great character of the sport is Eddie Hall, doing fantastic things with the press and the deadlift. He's just shocking the world with his raw power and continues to progress and get better every year. Magnificent athlete, great fella. And actually did a seminar here a few months ago in a short tour of Northern Ireland. Terry Holland's back on the scene. Took a little break there, did a bit of presenting on World's Strongest Man. You might have seen him on telly over Christmas, but he's making his comeback at Britain's Strongest Man in Doncaster. We'll just see how the guys are getting on.
Hello.
Hi.
Test. Real.
Okay, so welcome to the Irish Strongman Championship. You just heard from Dave Warner here. He's our lead MC today and will be handling most of the commentary. But sitting with me is Chris Bland.
Hello. So yeah, we've got a fantastic day. As you can just see now, the athletes warming up on the deadlift, which is going to be our first event. That's Eamon Harmuth just walking off. He's a powerlifting champion, a very, very strong guy. As the guys you can just see in the sort of far end of your screen, some phenomenal athletes turning up today. Should be a really good competition, James.
Okay, folks, we're nearly ready. The guys are just doing another round. They're up to 220. They'll just grab a 270 lift, and then we're in at 300, and the contest will officially start. And I'll just let them do this warm up, and I'll do the intros for the athletes, and we'll get the show on the road. Might introduce the guys as they walk up to the bar here. This is Chris McNaughton, winner of the Glenarm Dalriada Festival Strongman Championship this year. Gym owner from Larne. Been on the scene quite a few years, but still quite a young man. Desperate to get back to Britain's Strongest Man. He's been there before. He's trained hard this year in amongst setting up a massive new business enterprise for him. And he will liven up as the show gets on and his coffee kicks in. And we have Dale Winters, trains out of Big Phil's gym in Newton Ards, a 105 champion, 110 champion as well, I think. This guy's done quite a few shows, heavyweight and weighted, a great athlete, and moving up through the ranks of strongman. It's great to see him today rubbing against shoulders with some of the best in the country. Up to 370. And the competition will start after this. The helpers out of a heck of a job here, setting and resetting. They'll feel like they've done a right old workout today after today. First man to attempt 370. And this is just a warm-up, just be a quick pop-up. Is, I think, old Boulder Shoulders himself. You can hardly get this suit on over those shoulders. Will you see the size of this guy? Now, this is Par Unwired coming out next now. Par.
So, Chris, tell me about the events you've got today over here in Irish Strongman Championship.
So the first event we've got, as we've mentioned before, is the deadlift. Starting weight for that's going to be 300 kilos, and we heard a few rumours of some of the guys saying that they're going to aim for, I think it was 400 kilos mentioned.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that one of the contenders has been training pretty hard for this, and he really wants that spot at Giants Live. I think it's important that we mention that at the beginning here, Chris, that there is a place at a Giants Live at stake here. So a 400 kilo deadlift would certainly put him in a fantastic position.
Certainly would. I mean, 400 kilos is huge numbers. As we were saying earlier, it's easy to sort of get lost in some of the crazy lifts that are going on at the moment, but 400 is still world class.
Yeah, it's important to remember that this being the qualifier lead up to that, it's going to be slightly lower weights today than what we've seen before in some of the premium events you've got going. But these guys have still put a lot into this, and it's going to be really exciting to watch them as you progress through all 6 of these events.
So the next event after that is going to be the carry medley, which is a farmer's walk, duck walk, and a yoke carry. Followed then by the front hold, which is with some swords you can just see on the right hand side of your screen. They weigh 22 kilos each, and they're going to be a big ask. Going to be very tough, especially after that carry medley. Followed then by the log medley, which is starting at 120 kilos and working its way up to 165, sorry. And then we have the stone run to finish, which again, you can just see the stones just on the edge of your screen.
How heavy are those stones, Chris?
So as we were talking earlier about one of the competitors mentioning that they're after a 400 kilo, that's Chris McNathan there, who's just stepping up to the deadlift podium.
Just give the guys a chance to warm up.
He's
Just to be clear, this is the warm-up at the moment.
Yeah, that is.
We haven't actually started the deadlift event.
They're
These
still
guys
just easing themselves into it.
As Dave's saying, it's pretty cold here in Belfast. It's about -1 outside. The door's been opened, so they're just sort of going through the paces now, getting themselves ready. Yeah, so back to the stones, Chris. Tell me about the weights of the stones. Where are we starting at? 100 kilos, is it? 150?
So it starts off and it's 100 kilos. The next stone after that is 115. And then after that, so their first two are just sort of their warm-up on some very high platforms there. I think the highest ones, it's just shorter than me, so it's probably about 5'8", 5'9", something like that. And then obviously they're getting a little bit shorter each time. Then after the 115, it goes to 140, then 160, and then finishing with a 180 kilo stone. This year, we saw them lift a 200 kilo stone, and that stumped even some of the best in the world.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
180 kilos is very heavy.
It was crazy, wasn't it? I mean, usually we expect at that level them to pretty much nail the stones, but that new 200 kilo stone really did cause some serious trouble for some excellent people. Okay, we're just going to go over to Dave for a minute, let's introduce some of the athletes.
No, the former, that big. Oh, that little fella over there is, yeah. But Johnny has competed in as a field athlete in Highland Games. He actually took an old man under his wing once and taught me a bit about throwing things around and beat me about 10 times and gave up, didn't you, Johnny? Phenomenal athlete and a brilliant strongman. Great to see him here today. Next we have Sean O'Hagan. Big Sean. That's more like it. Bit of a round of applause. Get these guys psyched up. I just stopped that. You didn't give Johnny a round of applause. Come on. Louder. Come on. Former Ireland's strongest man. The biggest, strongest shoulders in Ireland. The record holder for the log press. Sean O'Hagan. Next we have Dale Winters. Come on, Dale. Dale up from Newton Ards. Trains in Big Phil's gym. Great athlete, a real battler. Not the heaviest man in the show today, but he will put on a phenomenal performance. Next out is Boulder Shoulders himself. Come on, get off the chair. Could be a bodybuilder, could be a strongman, who knows, whatever he chooses. Big Par O'Dwyer. Great athlete, done a lot of shows with Renegade Strongman over the years and has made it to Strongman's Champions League, Giants Live, and as always stood his corner very, very well. Next out, the gym owner from Larne, the winner of the Glenarm Strongman Challenge, Chris McNaughton. Big Chris, determined to put in a good deadlift today. He's trained in between setting up a new business venture, so I wish him all the best. He's had a very, very busy 2015, haven't you, mate? Good stuff. And the last man out, I brought him out last because he was naked last time I looked over there, is big Eamon Harford. Round of applause all the way from Drogheda. Powerlifter, strongman, you name it. Trains some great athletes and fills up the seats in the shows every time. So ladies and gentlemen, 6 of the best guys. Who's going to win? I don't know, but please give every one of them your maximum support. And can I have one last big round of applause for our 6 athletes fighting for a place in Giants Live. And we will make a start on the deadlift. And our opening lifter with 300 kilos will be Eamon Harford, followed by Johnny Kelly, followed by Sean O'Hagan, followed by Dale Winters, followed by Chris McNaughton, and last in the roundup is Pa O'Dwyer. Lucky for some, eh, Pa? All pulled out of the hat. Our referee today is former 2-time Ireland's strongest man, bodybuilding champion, exotic dancer, Martin Campbell. Known to many as Sparrow, but a real character among strongmen and a real breadth of knowledge of the sport. So great to have him back in the referee's seat with us again. On the score table, or score,
So guys, the opening weight here is 300 kilos, as you can see with Eamon Harford.
Nice lift, well done.
Easy work
Good lift.
with that. Very, very easy.
Next man out, straight in at 300 kilos. Totally raw. Big Johnny Kelly.
John Kelly is definitely
The
one to watch
first lift
for
is
this.
always the worst in these shows.
Ireland's strongest man at the moment,
little bit
and a
horrendous.
fantastic
Get this
athlete.
out of the way.
Not necessarily
And they are rocking
the
and
best
rolling.
deadlifter, but a very strong overall athlete.
Bang. Good, no problem
Even
there
so,
for
he
Big
made
Johnny.
light work of that.
And next, the mighty Sean O'Hagan.
Sean O'Hagan, personal best is 350 kilos, so should make very, very easy work of this. As Dave was mentioning earlier, a log presser by trade. He's got, I think it's 181 kilo log. Oh, very easy.
Nice, easy 300, making it all look very easy today,
Yeah.
gents.
Did not struggling there at all.
Next man up.
One person, so
Dale
Dale Winters
Winters.
is the next guy up here.
Guys, keep the bar nice and straight for
Dale
everybody.
is 105 kilo, 110 kilo athlete normally,
Dale
and
lifting raw,
his
no
max
straps for
deadlift
this
actually is a
guy.
280, so this will be a
Fights
big
like
PB for him. Hopefully the crowd can get behind him. Come on. Oh.
A little bit of a twinge there, you alright, Dale?
That's bad. It's not what you want to have on the first thing that you do on the event, but
Bit of a twinge there, Linda. You okay, Dale? No?
I'm
We're gonna look at it.
I'm sure I'll be able to get some ice on it and hopefully
Next
it'll
man
be
out on
okay.
300.
That's a real shame.
Chris
Real shame. He was
McNaughton.
looking very strong on that lift before that. So who's up now? Chris McNaughton. Very, very strong. He's the one that's definitely looking towards a 400 kilo deadlift today. You can see him waddling up to the bar in his deadlift suit. He's here serious.
I'm quite excited about this guy.
Yeah. You can definitely see why. He's looking very, very strong. As they were saying, he's gym owner and he's competed at competitions similar to this earlier this year, and he won. Strong guy. Relatively new to the scene, but makes light work of that.
Chris, reminds what the weight is at the moment?
So that's just 300 kilos on the bar at the moment. Still just warming up for most of these guys now. As we were saying, Parsa, he's, I believe he's Republic of Ireland's strongest man. but walking out with a lat spread like a bodybuilder there.
He does. He is a very, very. He's got wings.
Yeah, it looks like he could take off at any moment.
Yeah.
But not
I mean,
one
the
to
thing
worry.
is 300 kilograms could be a bit of a push for some of these guys. Do you think?
Yeah, well, as we said, we saw with Dale Winters, for some of these guys, that is a very... So they're loading the bar up now to 320 kilos. But yeah, as we were saying, for like Dale Winters, who just showed us there, I mean, this is big weights for these guys. It can't be understated how heavy 300 kilos is. We obviously get a little bit spoiled spending our time watching people like Hall lift 420, but it's ridiculous the weights these guys are putting up. So just setting up the weights now, and then I believe is it Erman, first guy up? So guys, what we've just got up here on the screen for you now is this is the official strongman rankings. So we've got, these are the top 14 guys, and as you can see, we have 2 Irish athletes on there now. So Eamon, he's got a 360, and Chris McNathan with his 350. Obviously, Eddie Hall, current leader, 463 kilos, and he's talking about pulling 500 later this year.
Yeah, this is. I don't think we can't say it's 100% confirmed yet, but I think it's going to happen. He's going to give it a go. Benny's back, obviously. And we're expecting earlier form. But yeah, 500 kilograms is the alleged amount that Eddie Hall is going to attempt to lift to set not just smash the world record by a significant amount. The record he already holds.
37 kilo. Oh. Eamon making easy work of that. Very strong. As we were saying earlier, he's a powerlifter and a powerlifting coach. This is really his bread and butter sort of thing. Fantastic athlete.
Yeah, so if you want to see Eddie Hall attempt 500 kilogram deadlift, then Europe Strongest Man, July the 9th. Tickets are still on sale. You can get them. Go to giants-live.com.
Definitely worth getting down to. Not only is there going to be Eddie Hall competing there, but Big Z is making a reoccurrence, and that really is something special to see. Thor, Big Z, and I believe as well Terry Holland's deadlift coming on. So Charlotte's.
Yeah, I've heard this as well. I mean, we've got Britain's Strongest Man, January 30th, which will be live streaming. There'll be more information on that on our website, officialstrongman.com, in the future. But yeah. Terry Hollands, we'll see how he does in Britain's, and that'll see if we set up for the main event.
We saw a video earlier this week actually of Terry Hollands pulling 420 kilos rather comfortably, and I mean, for a guy that's apparently retired, he's lifting a hell of a lot of weight.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. Britain's Strongest Man is such an incredible lineup this year. We've got some really, really great competitors. Obviously, Graham Hicks is going to be there as well. He's one of my personal favourites. So we'll see him.
Great to see him making a comeback.
That log, you know.
So just a heads up, I don't think that Dale Winters, who obviously hurt himself a little bit on that deadlift, I don't think he's torn a bicep, but I do know that he's off somewhere getting treatment now, and we'll find out as soon as we know, guys. We'll let you know. So here's Chris McNathan coming back up for his 320.
Named back on the invitation list, the Britain's Strongest Man. He was there a few years ago, putting a great performance.
Let's see how he does. Just hyping himself up a little bit now. So something that's important to get clear up here with deadlifting strongman. So very different to powerlifting. As you can see, he's strapping up. He's also wearing a suit. Obviously, he's wearing a belt, as you can do in powerlifting and strongman. And while Chris didn't need to there, hitching is also allowed. So for those of you that don't know, hitching is where you sort of rest the bar on your knees and sort of shins and just sort of pull the bar up yourself. It gives you a little bit of a breather. You can sort of wrestle against the bar a bit more. It's not quite as pretty, but it's inherently strongman. So here's Pa. All these guys so far seem, apart from obviously the first guy who was already out, but the rest of the guys seem to be making light work of this weight. Oh! Very fast off the floor, very fast indeed.
Told me I'm intrigued, Coach Evan, he's telling me a story. Well done, Pat, that was super. Really good. Okay. Everybody makes the 320. We take the bar to 340 kilos.
So what they're doing, guys, they seem to be going up in 20 kilos for the moment. And so 340 kilos is going to be going on the bar soon. It's worth mentioning the Irish record currently is 360 kilos.
Yeah, we've been trying to work out from some of these guys what the actual record is. No one seems to know, which is a bit worrying. So, quite frankly, I think today's we're going to see the Irish record and set it from this point going forward. But yeah, 360 is allegedly where we're at with that at the moment.
I'd say that seems about right. There was the All-Irish Deadlift Championships very recently, at which the winner was powerlifter, and he pulled 360 kilos. And as far as we're all aware, that's the most that's ever been pulled in Ireland. There's rumours and speculation of other lifts, but as is one of those things, if it's not been seen and not been shown to others, it always is a little bit dubious. So hopefully, guys, as we've said before many a time, Chris McNatt looking for 400 kilos, but I think as well, some of the power dowers looking very strong. John Kelly's strong lifter. Eamon Harth, powerful guy. With a 360 at the moment as a PB, but making these weights look easy. So should be seeing some great lifts coming up.
This is a great gather. Eamon Harper for the first round to attempt 340 kilos.
Here we are, we have 340 kilos on the bar. Eamon Harper just stepping up, hyping himself up here. Crowd getting behind him. The crowd starting to fill out. It's a very popular event. You obviously can't see, you're just looking out on the athletes arena, but guys are getting behind this, so let's see it. Big pull, fantastic work. Playing to the crowd, fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. He's had the timber suits, couldn't get it.
So John Kelly stepping up now. He was saying earlier he wasn't looking forward too much to the deadlift today, but my God, you wouldn't believe it. He's looking very comfortable with these weights. So here we are. Can he do it? He's looking strong. He's been so comfortable. Fast off the floor and all the way through. No concerns from him.
Not wasting any energy there. Nice and quick.
So here's big Sean O'Hagan stepping up. There was a little confusion earlier in the week about which Sean O'Hagan was competing. I'll take one. So here's the come on, Sean!
You get another attempt if you want to, Sean, take your time.
So guys, he's got another attempt now. He's just going to take a few moments, get a little breather, hopefully if he can get himself. Shot, not to happen today. Very shame.
Yeah, my understanding, Chris, is the other Sean is 6'11".
That's true.
Is that right?
That is true. He's an absolute giant. In fact, we can see him easily in the crowd, and there's a big crowd. But my word, does he stand out? See him?
No, I think that guy's standing on a bench or something. You sure that's him?
Yeah, that's genuinely him. An absolute behemoth of a man. Ulster's strongest man. So we're just seeing there Chris McNatt stepping up. Just had his smiling salts, got headphones in. He's looking strong. Also repping his gym hoodie. Very enjoyable. Can he do it though, guys? That's the big question.
Okay, just a reminder, what weight are we at here, Chris?
So we're at 340 kilos now. Only 20 kilos under the Irish record. Big weight. Chris is coming into this event feeling very confident about it. Can he make big on that deal? Oh, very, very easy.
This guy's just getting warmed up.
He really, really is. He's got to be inspired on the back row, and I'm sure he'll be inspiring a fair few people with performances like that. But my word, I can't get over Bao Dao's lats. Sweet Jesus.
How much do the lats come into this?
Quite a lot, especially. Oh,
that wasn't bad at all.
blink and you'll miss that. Yeah, the lats really helping keeping the bar close to you. Obviously, it's a lower body exercise mainly, but it does incorporate your entire body. And keeping that bar path close is so important in deadlifting, especially when the weights get heavier. So we can just see Dale Winters in the corner now. He's just seeing the sort of physio. He seems like he's all right. He's got an ice pack on it, but he's got a smile on his face. Hopefully he's in good spirits.
Sorry, I missed that. I was messing around with these bloody microphones.
I love to see everybody pass through this round. We're putting it into some fantastic new territory. Very, very strong. They have the opportunity to pass up a lift, and nobody's taking it. I don't blame them. We got a few lads out of this. They just need a chance to catch their breath. I'm going to rush anybody. The first man up is going to be Eamon, but Eamon, he's going to tell me when he's ready.
It's a very different Sean O'Hagan. There's two of them in Ireland, both of them very, very strong guys, but very different. One's about just shy of 7 foot, and the other's about 5'10", but broad as hell, and a very, very strong log presser, and that's the one that we have competing with us today. Yeah, some very strong guys, looking very, very comfortable. Obviously, guys, there's a lot more events coming today, and the winner of this qualifies for Britain's Strongest Man. Such a huge achievement, especially with like the level of strongman going on in Britain in the moment. This is probably one of the best years, I'd say, in a long time. I'd say actually maybe since Britain's Strongest Man has started, of the caliber of athletes competing.
It just shows you that the UK is one of the leading in strongman, and the bar, you know, he's raised the bar, as it were, and so we're seeing people now training harder, realising what they can really achieve. And I think we're going to see a few more guys coming through, some really exciting younger guys like Adam Bishop.
Oh, Adam
great
Bishop.
strongman.
Adam Bishop's definitely coming through. Right then, can he do it? Big lift for Eamon here.
Come on, Eamon.
Right here, and this is going to be a big lift for him if he gets it. Come on, yes, can he lock it out?
Yes, he's done it, well done.
So that's matched his PB today, that's a big lift for him. As Dave just pointed out there, he's lifting that without a huge lift. Now, and I think this is a big PB for John Kelly if he gets it. Okay. He is looking very strong in the deadlift today. Someone that specialises in the moving events, he is doing phenomenal.
Let's go.
Come on, Johnny, can he get it? Setting himself up here, guys, and it looks like he's good. Come on, Johnny. Oh! Very, very strong. Bear in mind, guys, this is the Irish record that's being lifted right now. This is the most weight that we've seen be lifted in Ireland. It's phenomenal, and especially again, John Kelly there lifting that without a suit, making light work of it.
2015 was very much the year of the deadlift. Chinese New Year, the deadlift. We saw Eddie Hall break the world record in Australia in front of Arnold Schwarzenegger with 462 kilos. Then at Europe's Strongest Man going 1 kilo heavier than 463 and pulling it off. But from what I'm hearing, 2016 we might even see a whole nother level, like a new step up to break the first man to ever break the barrier of 500 kilograms. So this year is going to be pretty exciting for Strongman, and it's a nice way to start it here. Giants Live qualifier event, so one of the guys from here will qualify through to a Giants Live event. Belfast, Strongman, seems like a pretty hotbed of
does seem like
talent.
We were out here not that long ago we just got Chris McNann stepping up to the bar now. He's the guy, he's definitely the one to beat on the deadlift today. The competition is looking very, very strong for him. Let's see how easy he makes this work. Oh, very easy. He's a little bit different, as we saw John Kelly and him. They were both lifters that excel off the floor. Very fast.
Huge. Like it's Andy Bolton style. It's like boom, up we go. And look at the way, like once you go past his knees, it's just that's it. It's gone, isn't it? There's no dragging there.
He's literally bursting out of his deadlift suit.
This guy scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I see it. You'll see it. I also enjoyed the first thing he did was very strong.
He just lifted with his back, didn't he? It was no legs in that at all. Would you see?
That's what we were saying earlier about one of the best deadlifts for James and I were saying last year was Thor's. Best deadlift of 2015. He just bent over, picked up that bar, and lifted it all 6'9" of height that he is.
I don't take anything away from him, but it's just like
he just tore it off the ground.
Yeah, he just picked it up. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you see someone like we were saying, Benny Magnuson, not done in a strongman competition, done in a powerlifting meet, but it was one of the most beautiful deadlifts we've seen. Form was perfect. It's a deadlift that was on the official Strongman website, so definitely, guys, go check it out. But that was a beautiful one. Form impeccable, and then you have Thor, who just brute strength, and credit to him. It was a huge lift. So I believe, guys, they're now setting up the 420. 470, sorry, guys, which is a... But this... So we're just setting that up now, guys. Taking a little while, but hopefully you're all enjoying the live stream. I think one of the events that I'm looking forward to the most today, though, is the sword hold. It's going to be very, very exciting. They're doing the old school, no back support at all, just pure one man.
Trying to make it through to the British champion, the British strongest man. So I'll let him decide when he's ready. They're going to move to the rest of the bar now. But please give them some support when they come out for this. It's massive.
What weight's this now?
370.
370, thought so.
Sorry, we're offline. 2
Okay, approaching the bar with 370 kilograms on that bar. It's Aaron Harper, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving a big screamer shout. Let's see this go. Come on, Aaron. Everybody wants to see this go.
Yes, looking good. I don't know, I'm afraid. Go on, Aaron.
Let's go! Oh, big round of applause everyone! When I was playing that magnificent, the synchron, that would have happened. That's a big win. Aaron, well done. You just remember what that says on that for 70 is a done deal.
Well done indeed. Next man out. From Inspired Gym in Larne is Chris McNaughton. How on big Chris? Let's have this.
So, Sean O'Hagan, I believe, hit a 340 and then was out at 340. And he didn't stop. He didn't stop. He just missed it. Struggled a little bit. It took a second chance at 360, I think, and couldn't get any higher. This is a huge lift going on at the moment. Come on, Chris McNaughton, we've got this.
It looks like it's on the cards.
He made that last one look easy. Can he do it again? Go on, Chris.
Come on, Chris McNaughton. Come on, Chris.
Oh. Such a shame. If he'd got that past his knees, I don't doubt for a second.
Nobody's got it yet.
It's one problem, I think his headphones fell out there as well. And it's one of the downsides of having something like that in. It's a nice aid if it works for you, but if it falls out, anything like that can make a big, big difference. Anything that throws you off your game is going to affect you greatly when you do something like that. Paro Dower, however, he looked so strong last time. And he looks like he's up for it. I'm sure he's got this. Bar was so fast. Come on, Par. Come on.
370 kilos, he can do this. Come on, Par.
Come on, Par. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, fantastic lift from Paro Dower. Huge. So we're saying, there we are. Biggest lift in Ireland. That could be the biggest lift we're going to see today. Johnny Kelly's going for a 380 here. And he's there hyping himself up, getting himself into that fury. You can just see him pacing in the background.
Johnny Kelly pacing him down.
If he could win this, it would put him in phenomenal position for the rest of today.
This, ladies and gentlemen, will be a record for Renegade Strongman.
If he could win this, the next event is going to be the Medley, and John Kelly is so strong in the Medley that it's going to be difficult to come back in a 5-event competition if he has got a 2-event lead. Let's see it for him. Let's hope he can make it, guys.
Johnny Kelly! Come on, Johnny, let's have this.
There he is, buckling up. Come on, John Kelly. He was saying coming into this that he wasn't a strong deadlifter. I think he wants to take back those words now. He's looking fantastic today. Come on, John. Yeah, very easy. You can see the excitement on his face. One of the big differences here with something like John Kelly is you saw a lot of like the bigger guys, you see them sitting into the bar a lot more. He seemed to lift that with his back almost. He was so upright. A lot of hamstrings coming into that. Some lower back. Fantastic lift again, suitless.
I just love watching this when you see the difference of these guys in competition versus what they've been doing in the gym. It gives them that sort of extra push over the edge to just really find their absolute best, and that was an impressive lift.
Oh, huge, huge lift.
Some debate now, I think, about what the next weight's going to be.
I believe he's getting a 1 kilo put on, and I think Power.
So for those who don't know, this is a rising bar competition, so the weight's sort of agreed through via our MC Dave here, the referee, and the competitors, and they can choose whether they want to go for that weight or not, or up the weight.
I'm not sure if Paradao is going to go for this next one.
He looks like he's getting changed to me.
It does look like he's getting changed, but he's still got his straps on. We'll find out. He's either rearranging his suit or he's trying to take his suit off. Looks like he's going for it. Looks like he's going to give it a crack. So they were saying, I think Paradao has done a bit of bodybuilding in his day. Fantastic guy. Just see him there trying to hype himself up. Talking to Eddie Hall earlier this Europe's Strongest Man about the sort of the hype that you need to deadlift. And he was describing it as you just need to get yourself into this special dark place and just get yourself furious. And that's exactly what these guys are doing right now. You see John Kelly's there, he's just in his own little zone, he's not talking to anyone, he's doing just that, finding what he needs to do.
I can't believe how tight this deadlifting suit is. He seems to be really struggling to get over those massive wings.
He's ginormous.
I wish you guys could see this. You'll see it when he comes on, but this guy is something to behold.
Also, I love that he's just taken his shoes off, getting those extra few inches out of the way, getting as close to the ground as he can be.
So this is this a personal best you think we're going for here?
Huge personal best for Paradao. I believe his best ever is his best is a 370. So if he can get this will be a huge lift for him.
To remind the weight in the bar, Chris, what's the weight?
So the weight on the bar at the moment is 381 kilos.
Wow.
You can see just the size of it. I mean, he's not big in the way that someone like Eddie Hall is, but my God, is he a strong chap. Go, boy, yes. I hate to say it.
No, I think that when you watched him with that long prep, he sort of had it in his mind that he'd give it a go, but I think he knew he was going to make it.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, at that stage, you're not going to make it.
No, I think as soon as you walk up to the bar with any amount of doubt in your mind, you're not going to get near it. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to find out about what's happening with Dale Winters, and I'll get back to you.
From static and relatively slow to fast and hopefully fairly furious. The guys against the clock will be lifting each one of these implements the length of this course against a stopwatch. This is called the duck walk. It's basically a massive block of steel. It weighs a phenomenal amount. It actually weighs 190 kilos, so it's heavier than that last stone there. It is the equivalent of 2 14.5 stone men stuck together. That is carried the length of the course. The guys run back as fast as they can and grab the farmer's walks. 130 kilos in each hand. That's nearly Johnny Kelly in each hand down the length of the course. If they manage to succeed that, they return down for the super yoke. Just under 400 kilos. It's massive.
although it's a thing to stop when he did. He's obviously made the smart decision, and he's taking the rest of the competition out. It's not worth him hurting himself anymore, and so he'll competition, sadly. So we're down now, just do next. Chris McNathan got the 60. We had power. Huge lift. We'll try and get that up for you guys. So going into it now, obviously this next event is one that I've mentioned before. John Kelly very much excels at. Moving is very much his specialty. He's quite lean for a strongman, a little bit smaller, but very fast, very agile, and this is definitely going to play into his strengths. So if he can get a 2-win lead, it's going to be very difficult to catch him up. Yeah. And
probably one of the most simplistic events, but obviously one of the most exciting for everybody. Through exceptionally well last
the event that I'm looking forward to the most personally is definitely though the shield carry. It's such a test of tenacity, it's horrible. There's a 180 kilo shield that the guys will be carrying, and they'll be taking that as far as they can up and down this course non-stop. It's going to be a real tough one for them, but hopefully these guys will fly through it. Well, they will do. It's just a tough one. It's similar to if any of you have done a Zercher squat or a Zercher deadlift. Very similar to that. You're holding it in the crook of your elbows, slips out. If you're sweating, that'll play into it massively. It tires you, it drains, it cuts you up. It's a nasty piece of equipment, but it makes for such a show. And it really is that sort of pinnacle of strongman. It's just silly lifting of things. What can you pick up? What can you do with it? How much do you want it? And that's always so enjoyable. What makes strongman? It's the odd objects that just make strongman so enjoyable. So guys, what we've got is we've got the score sheet for you of just that last deadlift. I'll just get that. So here we are. So as you guys can see, we've got, just going back through, so that was Eamon with his 360, the same as Chris McNathan. It's a shame about that. Chris McNathan was definitely aiming for a lot more, and I definitely think he's got more in him, but he's going to be happy with the 360. It was a new PB for him. The best he's done before was 350 kilos. The PB is always a good time for an athlete. It's just a shame he couldn't hold slightly more. Yeah, I think so. then he goes 135, 150, and then finishing off with 165 kilo load.
And do this horrific medley. The running order for this medley will be Joe Hagan out first, Eamon Harford out second, Christopher Thorne out third, Pat O'Dwyer out fourth, and the last one out will be Johnny Kelly. The way it works, if you don't already know this, in this level of strongman, if you win an event, you win the advantage. So basically, you stay back, you go out last, so you know what you have to do.
So yes, sadly, Dale Winters had to withdraw from the competition. Real shame. He's distended his bicep. He's not torn it off the bone, but it's not looking good for him. It's rolled up, not rolled up, but he's very badly injured. Hopefully though, he'll be able to take a little bit of time out, come back, recover, and he'll be okay. But there's no point in him risking it this early on in the season. It's just not worth it for him. He was doing this competition to try and sort of get some experience anyway. He's a fantastic under 105, under 110 kilo athlete. I believe he was Ireland's strongest man under 105 in 2014. So really strong weight category guy, and he's working his way into the opens. And an injury like that. So the guys are just warming up now on that yoke. A 400 kilo yoke is another thing. Not that long ago, maybe about 3 years ago, people would have thought a 400 kilo yoke was huge. And now it's just pretty much commonplace. In the same way, it's worth mentioning that in the 80s, when people like Kazmaier were deadlifting, they were deadlifting like 380, 380 would be a big lift for those guys, and that's a world's strongest man.
Yeah, and back then no one even knew like what the sort of limit was, and Bill was just, as we spoke to him before when we were in Leeds last year, he was saying he just had to like sort of find it himself to open those new doors and find those new levels that he could get to, and he loves this. He's seeing it, how far it's gone and how things have progressed. I mean, I reckon if he was around again now, he'd be something to.
Well, so obviously Kaz came with us to Europe's Strongest Man, under 19, under 105, and he said one of his favourite lifts that he'd ever, I think he claimed it was the best deadlift he'd ever seen, was Luke Davis pulling, I think it was 350 kilos, but just right. The way he went at it was so passionate. And obviously any of you guys that have seen anything that Kaz has done, he's all about that passion behind it. He loves that stuff, and he really did. He got so into it. It was fantastic to see. The weight category guys actually are really making a big difference. I'm hoping there's Davey Wallace, who competed at that competition earlier this year, is here today, and we're hoping to get a little bit of an interview with him, maybe in between the next events, and talk to him about, as we just mentioned on Official Strongman, we're going to be launching under 105 and under 90 kilos World's Strongest Man. First time that it's been licensed to the World's Strongest Man brand, and it's going to be a huge thing. It's such a big push for these weight category guys who train just as hard, still have full-time jobs, everything else, and are just going at it. It's fantastic to see for them. It's great for them to get that opportunity.
And if you're watching and you want to get involved, then anybody in the whole world can compete for these new World's Strongest Man titles in the different weight categories, women and masters as well, which is over 40. Just go to officialstrongman.com, sign up, upload your lifts.
It really is. One of the things that's great about it is for everyone. I myself have, I have intentions, but no real likelihood of ever getting to...
Hey, don't say yourself short, Chris.
No chance of getting to World's Strongest Man, but I'm on there. And it's just enjoyable to see how you compare to other people. And it's a good motivator. Plus, if you are like me and enjoy you just like seeing yourself on a screen, it's great to be able to be there with other people and know that you're on the same ranking site as Eddie Hall, which is the only chance I'll fully ever get to compete against him. So we have Sean O'Hagan stepping up now. Let's see how he does.
Sean, let's go.
A duck walk is a horrible, horrible one, and you can see Sean struggling with it, especially having picked up that weight before. And Sean has got such giant legs, he can't fully stand up with it. Really, really nasty event, and especially to have as the first one. But he's doing well. Can he keep it up? Go on, he just needs to get just across that line, and then I'll be straight onto that Farmers. That's it, that's it. He's just got to go. He's got a quick jog back.
These will feel easy compared to that big guy. Way, he's flying. These are the same Farmers. Whoa. He's taking a dive. You all right, big guy? Tripped on that matting.
So Sean Hagen just took a quick tumble there, and I hope he's not hurt. He looks all right.
There's quite a lot of blood coming out of his mouth, though.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah, I think he might be spitting a little bit of blood there. One of the things that is very, very underrated in something like this is the amount of pressure that you put, not sort of psychological, but physical pressure. When you've got a belt on like that and you're doing something like this, trying to get a breath can be challenging. And I think he just went a little bit lightheaded. Dave said he tripped on the matting, but I don't think he did. That matting is very, very tightly knit. Hopefully Sean's okay and not in too much pain.
9.7 meters.
I was watching a duck walk that they did in America recently, and it's amazing how many people fall over during it. You know, it's actually quite dangerous exercise in terms of like very awkward place to be carrying such a heavy amount of weight.
And just sort of the inherent nature of it, it's going to always be that much in front of you, and as you're running forward with it, you're going, just the likelihood of you tripping is always just that much more. Hopefully, just we'll find out for you shortly whether he's in any real pain or if he's all right. I think he looked okay. He looked a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think he just like bit his tongue or something like that, you know. Yeah. But
a lot of the strong using is gum shields. While it's not usually to stop for trauma injuries, it does make a big difference to the guys, and it really helps just sort of getting that brace. So here they are now just resetting up the yoke. Obviously it needs to be different height for different competitors to make it fair. I believe we've got Eamon Harmouth up next. So yeah, Sean's back in now, he looks alright. He's going to be disappointed with that. But I think he's okay, I think he looks alright.
So we're getting a question here, Chris. David Sanderson's asking us, what are the weights of these objects, just to remind us?
Also, David Sanderson, an incredible athlete in his own right. I believe a 90 kilo athlete, and I was watching his videos this morning, big deadlift session from him, well done. Moving on, so we have 190 kilos to 200, it's somewhere in the middle on the duck walk. These Farmers that Eamon's making lightweight of, they're 140 kilos, and this yoke that he's about to go and pick up, 400 kilos, a big weight. You can see him just taking a little quick pause there. This is a real big weight for these guys. Let's see if he can move it. Come on, Eamon.
He's up.
But can he move with it? I always think it's really good though. It's so important to have an event like this that just separates the athletes. Strongman's meant to be difficult, and at this level it isn't meant to be for everyone. That's obviously what we're doing with official strongman, is trying to make something that everyone can compete in. But when you get to qualifying for Britain's Strongest Man, the upper echelon of sport. You know, these events need to be tough, and it's great to see that something like this that really just pushes the guys to their absolute limits. So I believe our next competitor is going to be Chris McNabb. Again, I'm expecting big things from Chris in the future. Relatively, not completely, but relatively new to strongman, but just a fun competitor, and he's doing so much work with his gym, Inspire Fitness, and it's just great to see. One of the downsides, as you can see there, is something like strongman, where the weight of the equipment is so much, the setup time can just be a little bit. But I think it's definitely worth it with a live stream. You accept that, and it's nice to see as well how little time these guys get to rest. I think the perception is with when you watch it at home that these competitions are done over the entire day. And it's not the case at all. This starts at 1 o'clock, and by about 4:30, all will be said and done, and we'll have our winner. And that's especially when you're lifting such heavy weights. I mean, a max deadlift alone is exhausting. And these guys push it. And then they're doing so many max events. It's fantastic to see. And it's, again, just what makes strongman so enjoyable to watch is just how punishing it is. I mean, obviously there's sports like powerlifting that do go on all day and they're doing 9 lifts, and that's taxing. But it's nothing like this, nothing at all. So again, they're just setting up the height on the yoke for him. Yeah, that's correct. So the duck walk is, well, it's about, I think the duck walk is 192. It's 140 kilos on the farmers per hand and a 400 kilo yoke.
These guys have competed on the international circuit. Will tell you that everything you get on the international circuit is huge.
I mean, as guys as well, it's worth us mentioning, I know we've mentioned it a lot, but it definitely is worth mentioning again, that these guys, the winners of it will qualify for Britain's Strongest Man, where they'll compete against Terry Hollands, Eddie Hall, Lawrence Charley, Mark Jeans has just qualified for it as well. Graham Hicks, and I forgot about Graham Hicks. Adam Bishop, who is coming on massively. I think in the next 2 years he'll definitely run to. Oh, and Chris making light work of that duck walk. He's obviously practiced this before. That is phenomenal speed. That's the fastest anyone's been so far on that duck walk. Smart as well, not sprinting back, just a nice little jog, catching his breath. See just how wide those farmers' walks are. Not wide, sorry, long, a huge piece of equipment. But again, just taking his time, easing himself into it, not rushing. I think he's got this. I think he's going to be the first one to move the 400 kilo yoke. He's got it going, but if he can get it halfway down the course, that'll be very, very difficult to beat. He's just checking now how long he's got. And that's something to mention as well. That run back, that adds up to 30 meters they're having to run. It doesn't sound much, but it's a long way for these guys. Each time as well that they're picking that up, that's a partial 400 kilo squat. So every attempt is more and more taxing.
Crowd getting behind him there.
Give him a good cheer. They're actually very, very supportive.
I think that could be the winning athlete there.
I actually think it might be, especially with this speed on those first two. One thing that is, again, as we've said, Johnny Kelly is fast at moving events. You can just see him strapping up now, getting his knee sleeves on. He could be a tough one to beat. He also has the advantage of going last. He knows what he has to do. So I believe Paradawa is up next. I've never just see him over there, hood up, getting himself in his own Paradawa. Yeah, we've got Paradawa up next. Chris McNairn currently in the lead. Paradawa is just you can't quite. I think I've been butchering his name. You can just see him just in the far end of your screen, just pacing in a grey hoodie, getting himself into that zone, really hyping himself up, getting into it. It'd be interesting to see how he does. He's an in-shape guy. He's very fit and very fast. Never seen him do a moving event before. We've just got a thumbs up there from Sean O'Hagan. He's looking good, and he's made himself a good comeback. I think he might have just bitten his tongue, but hopefully he'll be okay. Sean O'Hagan's definitely the one to watch on the log press. He's got 181 kilo max log, which is the Irish record. Huge numbers. Paradawa, first thing he did when he got his Giants Live t-shirt was rip the sleeves off it. Bodybuilder to the very end. Let's get a little bit of info up on Paradawa. So he's Republic of Ireland's strongest man, second at this competition last year, and he's a firefighter by trade. So cliche, I know, but if anyone's going to be good at carrying things on their back, it's going to be Par. Can he do it? As well, the other thing to mention is he's got a 370 kilo deadlift. That's going to make the picking up of these implements a lot easier. Also, he's got, I don't know, in no way disrespectful, but he's got a lot thinner legs, and that's going to make the pickup on the duck walk a lot easier. It's going to mean he can stand fully upright, and that's going to be a huge help. So here he is flying down the course now, not quite as fast as Chris McNairn, but that doesn't matter. All he has to do is get that yoke. Sprinting in them Chris had, but he's barely even struggled with that pickup. It was so easy. A little bit slower than moving, but it doesn't look like he's struggling. He's just cautious with it. He does right. They are so long, those farmers walks. And he's just walking back now. He knows all he has to do is just get that thing more than 2 meters across that line. That's just 2 paces.
Here we go, 400 kilos. Can he lift it?
Oh, making light work of it. Oh. The other thing.
Okay, Chris, I think you spoke a bit sooner. That weight really starts to.
Something you can see here is, so he's picking it up very easily. Obviously got a very strong squat on him, but the thing that makes a yoke so interesting is it's a unilateral movement. Each time you're having to go onto one leg to take that next step, and that's where he seemed to be struggling. Some people, if they can pick it up, they'll run with it for days. Power is obviously the other way around. Very strong in the pickup, but the moving of it, not quite as his forte. But he's still done enough there to be, I believe, in the lead so far.
And how, if you haven't got a yoke in your gym, how can you train for this event to try and simulate that sort of movement with the weights rocking from one leg to the other?
So there's different ways. It's the first competition I did actually that had a yoke in it. I was in the same situation. My gym just had a squat rack, and that was pretty much it. So the way I trained it was very heavy walkouts, racking. So the yoke I had was a novice strong. So he's Paradawa is in the lead with 3 meters 60 on that yoke. So yeah, the way I trained it was very heavy walkouts. Just unracking the bar, taking a couple of strides backwards with it, loading it up on my back, holding it, keeping my core nice and tight, bracing throughout, a few deep breaths, walking it back in. Alongside something that sounds stupid, but I can't remember who recommended it to me, but it definitely felt like it helped, was walking lunges. Obviously, if you can get your hands on a yoke, it's going to make life a lot easier. But if not, you can do a lot to train strongman without the equipment. I mean, that's the beauty of strongman. It's just picking things up and moving with it. there's a lot of technique to something like a yoke, but at the same time, it's picking up a heavy bar and running with it. I'm going to be writing, well, I've already written the article, I'll be getting it up on officialstrongman.com. How to train for strongman in a commercial gym. There's an awful lot you can do. Mainly, the main thing you need to worry about with something like that is those moving events and the grip. But with a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of determination, you can get a lot done in a commercial gym. I mean, you look at someone like John Anderson, which I know is not John Anderson, Paul Anderson, a long throwback. But the guy used to train in his garden. He famously used to dig a hole in his backyard and do squats out of it. So it's sort of like a rack squat and fill in the hole a little bit each day. It doesn't need to be complicated. Just getting in, lifting weights and getting stronger makes a big difference. I think a few of the guys, my Spanish is a little bit rusty, but just asking where Brian Shaw is. So we've got John Kelly flying down the course. As I've said before, he's a very strong athlete when it comes to these moving events. He's looking good, looking very good. Fast back as well. Oh! He's practically sprinting with those farmers, not struggling in the slightest with it. That's great to see. How far can he get with this yoke? He knows he doesn't have to go more than 3 meters. Can he get it? Oh, he looks comfortable. So this is what I was saying. Showboating to the crowd. Comfortable, but absolute days to that. Very nicely done. Very nicely done indeed. So that was an easy win for him. He's going to be very happy with that, and that's now 2 events in the bag for him. Hopefully we'll get him over in a little while and we'll have a quick interview with him, see how he's feeling about it. Don't want to interrupt him while he's competing, but towards the end of the competition, it'd be nice to... So yeah, guys, you were asking earlier about what's happened with Brian Shaw being here and whatnot. So this currently is qualifiers for Britain's. So there we have Johnny Kelly with 7 meters 60. Huge. And he was doing that easy, playing to the crowd, doing handless walks. Fantastic effort from him. Yes, so asking about... proper pure old school strongman, and we're back up. So guys, you can just see we've got our camera up now. So guys, what I definitely recommend you to do is to get yourself over to How are we doing?
So while we're waiting for the next event to be set up properly, I feel it'd be good just to remind you, all of those you didn't hear earlier, that next Giants Live event that you can watch is Britain's Strongest Man. That's on the 30th of January in Doncaster Dome. Tickets have been sold out, however, we will be putting on a pay-per-view live stream. We'll shortly be releasing the details for that, which you'll be able to find on officialstrongman.com and giants-live.com. Then later in the year, July the 9th, we've got Europe's Strongest Man, which will be featuring the World Deadlift Championships as usual. Very exciting information that there's a potential 500 kilogram record attempt going to be happening. Eddie Hall and Benny Magnuson training very hard for that, and obviously Thor as well, who pulled in 450 kilogram deadlift last year. But here's a little trailer for you to show you what what's going on later on this year with Giants Live.
I am the future of strength, and I am king of this time! Bjornsson is about to ignite! Is about to ignite!
Just take a seat, mate, and then if you hold that, hold it quite close up. And if I steal this one. So we've got with us Davey Wallace, who is it under 90? Under 105?
Yeah, under 90.
Under 90, who competed with us at the under 90 kilos in Europe's Strongest Man, wasn't it?
Yeah, Europe.
And throwing out there, Arnold deadlifter. What are we lifting these days, Davey?
Going for the worlds here. I'm hoping for about 340.
At 90 kilos, 340 kilos. Right, lift that up a little bit higher, mate.
Yeah.
So, but one of the things we wanted to talk about is just saying about all of the guys that are competing in these sort of, in the under 90 have it, guys. Just setting up now, just a few moments. You can see just shields there. So we've got events lined up. We've got a shield, stone carry, sorry. Then we had the, sorry guys, for some reason, words seem to be escaping me. Let me get back to my memory. So we have next up the hold, then the logs medley, which is set up there in a nice staggered event, followed then by the shield carry and then the stones, 100 kilo, 115, 140, 160 and 180. So there.
Guys, if you want to get yourselves ready, and if you want to get yourselves in position to get a good view, see these guys' faces contorted with pain, all for your viewing pleasure.
Test. So here we are, guys. They're just resetting it up now, getting that log lift going. Not the log lift, sorry. They're just resetting the cameras. So just got you up on that log lift there. We'll be with you very, very shortly. They're just setting up now for the first competitor. Who's the first competitor? So the first competitor we're going to have up now is going to be Sean O'Hagan. And then we've got Eamon Harford next, Chris McNathan, Pao Dower, and then Johnny Kelly finally as the last competitor going up. They're going to be doing it head-to-head, but sadly with it being with Dale Winters having dropped out earlier today. First event with a distended bicep after doing the clean, not the clean and press, the deadlift. Just took a nasty little tear and sorry guys, just setting up the GoPro. Dale Winters took a nasty sort of tear to his bicep. Hopefully he's okay. We'll try and get a little word with him later on. But I believe Sean O'Hagan's going to have to go first on his own, which is always going to be, it's just a nightmare to have to go on first on your own. But hopefully guys, he'll still pull something big out of the bag. He's got huge shoulders as Sean O'Hagan, 181 kilo log prep. So if there's anyone that can manage it, it should be Sean. And he's definitely got a point to prove now after being
two head-to-head competitions and one single man on his own. Bearing in mind being lost for our athletes through injury. So the first man out to follow all the referees are ready.
It's being built at the minute. I was talking to...
Are you ready, referees?
Big Edie.
You know your positions around the camera. Okay, the first man out.
So here we are, guys.
A big round of applause. The forward hold with Sean O'Hagan. Guys, we need two helpers to have the sword to it.
So we've got Sean O'Hagan just stepping up here now, as Dave's just mentioned, and I was getting to before. He's going to be doing this on his own, which is, it's tough. It's so tough to do on your own. Anything like this, horrible to do if you've not got a motivation behind. Well, if you've not got someone there forcing you on, especially as he's going for the first guy up. It's always going to be tough for him. So he's just, there he is. Got someone else now for him. As we were saying, guys, these we've got is, there's no back support as you would normally see in a competition. We decided to go very old school with it. And you can see it is tough. It requires a lot more core strength like this. And it's tough, really tough on these guys. So much in the mind. You can see he's got his eye. Well, you can't see because his face is covered by the sword. But he's got his eyes closed. He's just zoned in as much as he can, trying to focus in.
Don't put it down. Do not put it down. Come on.
Come on, Sean.
Hold it. Get it up, don't you put it down.
It's difficult to describe how hard this is, but that's 22 kilos that he's holding out directly in front of him. It's a horrible event.
43.68 for
But
sure.
43.69 is a big amount of time. Huge. So that'll give him a real big advantage.
Two competitors to beat, going head to head in the forward hold. Eamon Harford.
So there we are, the forward hold.
Condon.
So we've got Chris McNathan up and Eamon Harford just stepping up. James, who do you think's got this one?
Okay, gentlemen.
I believe
Good luck.
it's tough. Having the extra body weight can help as you can sort of lean back and use that leverage. I think Chris McNathan's looking very strong for this one. He'd probably be the one my money's on.
This is just a test of willpower. That's what comes down to this stage.
Okay, guys.
Really is just pure grit.
I like the guy on the right.
There you go.
Right, you think Eamon Harford's got this?
Rock solid. Arm straight, keep breathing and
I also
taking
enjoy
yourself
very
away
much that Chris,
to
who's
place.
the guy on the right-hand side of your screen, has just got as many straps and sleeves on his arm as he physically can.
His arms are shaking now. You probably can't see it from the angle you guys have got, but there's a bit of a twitch happening there. Can you see that?
Bit of a shake going through his whole body, if I'm honest. Whereas Eamon looks Eamon looks quite comfortable with it. He's got a slight knee bend, he's leaning back into it, although I can see the pain in his face now. He's gone. How long can Chris hold it?
Lactic acid just building up there to the point where
That's
he just
it.
couldn't hold it anymore. But look
This
at this.
is the beautiful thing as well with Strongman. You can see Eamon cheering him on a little bit there. Encouraging this. He's a huge lift. How long is he going to keep that?
Wow.
Completely out.
Now that's dedication.
Just in time, man.
He held his breath a bit too long at the end there, I'm afraid.
Wow, that's
That was a phenomenal time. Lee.
hopefully it looks okay, and
No, he's fine. He just held his breath for too long.
Yeah.
You see, he started to
Oh,
go a
yeah.
bit red, and got the tunnel vision came in, and he just sort of.
I think that's it. But unfortunately, guys, we're too much. These are a padded floor. I'm sure it'll be fine. The thing though that's so important to show is just how much effort these guys have been putting into this. I mean, that's everything on the line. He's just put in absolutely everything he's got and more.
Probably give him a bit of oxygen there, let him breathe a bit better. Our first aid is on scene there. She'll look after him.
Oh, so just got a quick message from Ben Grant. Ben, we're working. Hopefully, let me know if it's better. Apparently, there's a few problems with the audio, but I think we've got it back on.
The mic stopped working, which is great during the interview. So
Also, quick shout out to Ben Grant, fantastic Highland Games athlete, and looks dashing in a kilt.
46, nearly a minute. Phenomenal time. Big Chris going to the absolute limit.
So we've currently got our times now of Sean. Third place is Eamon Harford with 35.31. Sean O'Hagan in second, 43.68 seconds, and then Chris McNabb with a huge one of 52.46.
52.46.
Huge,
Now that is
huge
equivalent
lift.
of what they do with the force hammer. And I can tell you now, that would have been in the top 3 in the British Championships last year with force hammer. What a performance.
Irish Strongman last year, we saw Mark Felix beat Thor at Thor's hammer. Very impressive.
Mark Felix, though, is someone that
Mark Felix is a legend of strongman, 50 this year. He's going to be competing in Britain's, probably in Euro Strongman too.
I don't doubt that he'll qualify for World's Strongest Man and be probably the first man to compete in World's Strongest Man at 50 years old.
What a feat, the guy's a legend.
Now, Kapao Dao's massive wings help him on this one.
This is often done up against the wall.
See, Pa's got quite long arms, and that is a disadvantage with this, just with pure leverage. Pa's struggling already.
I'm not fancying the guy on the right here. His arms are quivering already. He's going to be gone in about 5 seconds.
I'd agree. Eamon looks quite strong. Plus, he knows where he has.
Wow, look at this powering through that. His muscles are quivering and twitching all over the place. His deltoid muscles there are just absolutely boiling off his shoulders, but he's still going.
The one thing that's worth mentioning is Pa's a bodybuilder, so lactic acid training, well, he has done bodybuilding. Lactic acid training is something that is going to be his domain.
Look at the amount of movement he's got going on there.
He's shaking a lot, but it doesn't look like
done
he's
by
going
now.
down.
This is insane. What a legend, this guy.
And this is exactly what we're saying. It's stubbornness and tenacity that's really shown through here.
He has the tenacity of a double marathon runner.
Look at him now, look at him. Go on, Pat.
Oh, wow.
I would not have put my money on that.
I didn't. That shows huge mental strength.
And look, he's got a cheeky little smile on his face as well.
Johnny Kelly, right hot on his heels, must have had a second place in there. Sparrow,
so guys, we've got the scores for you now.
56.
Pau Dower took the lead. We would not have guessed that in the slightest. Pau Dower took the lead with 1 minute and 0.03 seconds. John Kelly, 56.50 to take second.
Absolutely brilliant. Chris McNaughton going to absolute failure.
What we'll do, guys, we'll get the max scores up for you very, very shortly. Not max scores, sorry, final overall counting. And we'll just set up the cameras now for the log lift. So this next event, guys, is the log lift medley, and it's going to be a fun one. So the way that it's working is just set, I think, changing the cameras. So here we are, guys. We've got log lift medley now coming up. Is starting with a 120 kilo log, then moving on to a 135 kilo. After that, it's a 145. Following up, the final log is going to be 165. A huge feat.
On to the next log. Same again. Next log. Same again.
So as you can see, guys, in that top left-hand corner of your screen is sort of a staggered lift all the way through. So the way it's going to work is they're going to start at the very far side away from you at 120 kilos. Then they're going to move slightly on the course to their left in a stagger. It's going to be 135 kilos. Then that 150. And finally that 165 log. The log record in Ireland is 181 kilos held by Sean O'Hagan. He's definitely going to be the one you're going to want to watch in this event. A very, very strong athlete. Huge shoulders on him. I don't know if you guys have seen on Facebook, but Dave put up a picture earlier this week of a trophy that we've got for this event, and it is phenomenal. It looks beautiful. It's possibly the most jacked statue I've ever seen in my life. So guys, as you can see now, guys, we've got Guys, we've got some dreadful news. We've had another injury. Eamon Harford is out. Just the very nature of strongman, it's just taken its toll on him, and sadly, he's having to retire, which is a real shame because he was looking like he was going to place very well in this competition, and it's a shame now, especially anytime that you get a competition dropped down to 4 competitors. We had a few injury dropouts prior to this competition itself. I can't remember the other one, but I know Big Phil and Phil, I've forgotten his second name, but it's just such a shame to see guys get injured, but it is the nature of the beast. And when you're trying to compete at such a high level, these things do happen, but hopefully we wish him a speedy recovery. Dave's just having a quick word with him now and finding out what's happened. But hopefully it's nothing too drastic and he'll be able to come back into this, and he won't be out of training too long and he'll be able to compete again with us. So guys, as we've mentioned before, winner of this will qualify for Britain's Strongest Man, where they're going to be competing with some very good athletes like themselves. So we're going to see Eddie Hall, Terry Holland, and I've forgotten his name, Graham Hicks. Why I keep forgetting Graham, I'm not sure. Alongside Adam Bishop, Mark Jeans, and another English competitor that is yet to be decided, I believe, and maybe one other competitor, I'm not 100% sure. It's such a shame about Eamon, but Pa looks like his shoulders are hurting him a little, his elbows hurting him a little bit too. I'm not surprised after such an event, but he's stretching and he looks good. So guys, we have with us now the final standings, which is 4th place, Sean O'Hagan with 5 points. 3rd place, Chris McNathan with 9.5 points. 2nd place, Paradow with 14 points. And in 1st place, Johnny Kelly. It all comes down to this log. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it comes down to this log. Sorry, 1 second. Is that okay? That's okay. Sorry. Yeah, no worries. So, guys, log's going to be a big one for these guys. Pa's got some huge shoulders, so I'm sure he won't be struggling with this too much. I've not seen Johnny Kelly do a log before, but he's competed at some big events before. He is Ireland's strongest man.
Started with a deadlift even in the warm-up where he was struggling to get comfortable in his suit. He decided to call it a day.
So guys, we've just heard there.
Eamon Harford, a big round of applause. He won't be continuing with the competition. Well done, Eamon. He trained very hard for this competition. Unfortunately, it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And it doesn't always go your way in terms of health on the actual day of the show. So he'll not be attempting the log press and he'll not be attempting the squats. Still gives us the big 4. And,
so guys, I'm not sure how much of that you heard, but we have Eamon Harford, as mentioned, has dropped out due to stomach bug, sadly. He was mentioning to me beforehand that he was struggling a little bit with that he had a cold that was coming on. Well, he said he had a cold. And he didn't look his best, if I'm honest. He was looking a little bit ropey. He was desperate to get the deadlift in, and he just wanted to take it from there, but it's a real shame. Hopefully we'll see him again, make a big comeback, but if I'm honest, I'm just glad to hear that he hasn't been injured and that it's just a sickness bug.
Followed by Chris McNaughton, followed by Johnny Kelly, followed by Paul O'Dwyer. I can tell you in our last 4 competitors.
So we're going to have the biggest shoulders in Ireland going first.
In 3rd place is Chris McNaughton. In 2nd place is Johnny Kelly. In 2nd place is Para O'Dwyer, and in 1st place is Johnny Kelly. Sorry guys, Para O'Dwyer getting a bit. Sorry mate. But I can tell you now, it really is all to fight for. When there's so few competitors in a competition, the points can be won and lost. And between 1st and 2nd place now, after the 3 events, a couple of points can change everything. So these guys still have to fight on for their place at Britain's Strongest Man. There's no free riding for anybody here. And like I say, 2nd place could still mean a place at one of the other Giants live shows taking place throughout the year. What's the matter? Pa's getting very excited about something.
Okay guys, we're just going to get you a copy of the leaderboard here and I'll write it in the chat so you can see what's going on. There's like slight delay here as we're trying to make sure that we're getting all these guys back up. They're feeling a bit battered now after this last event. for those who didn't see it, there was a max deadlift at the beginning which took it out of them. We saw 2 personal bests, 370 kilograms being lifted, 381 attempted, but unfortunately didn't deliver. This log medley's up. I think the weights have been described. The last log I know is 180. So anyway, here's the scores, and sorry if I don't pronounce the names right. So in overall 4th place, we have Sean O'Hagan, who has 5 points. Chris McNaughton is in 3rd place. He has 6.5 points. Pa O'Dyer, I hope that's better pronunciation, he's in 2nd place. He's got 14 points. And our current leader is John Kelly. He's in 1st place with 15 points. So there's 2 events to go after this. Sorry, 3 events to go. We've got the log medley, as you can see on the camera in front of you. It's lined up. They'll start in the furthest log away from the camera. Then they'll work their way towards us, having to get that log lifted, locked out over their head. Signal from the referee allows them to put it down, then move on to the next one. It'll be the time if they complete all the logs. If they don't complete all your logs, it's the time it takes you to complete and the number of log you're on. Then after that, we're going to have a shield carry. It's a 180 kilogram shield. I don't know if you can just see it to the right of the camera there, near those 2 bits of wood on the floor. But that shield is going to be seriously difficult. They'll be walking up and down the course they were using earlier for the duck walk. And then we're going to end up with some stones. First stone's 100 kilos. We got 115, sorry. Then to 140, finishing with a 180 kilogram stone. Good news, Chris is back, who knows about a lot more about strongman than I do. So he's going to
prefers a single lift for maximum.
Take over. We're seeing from Dave Warner. Dave Warner, World Strongman competitor, now turned referee for Giants Live, and puts on various different strongman events throughout the year, including Europe's Strongest Man, under 105, under 90. David will be running and officiating World's Strongest Man under 105 kilos this year. That'll be in July 31st in Dublin, in Belfast at the Titanic Centre. Very exciting venue. Huge number of people should be coming, and it's going to be a really, really, really great day out. Hope you guys can make it over here. If not, we will be live streaming that one too.
Dave's a huge champion of the weight category events. He's done so much for these guys already. And although on the other end of the spectrum, we can just see Sean O'Hagan, who's a monster of a man, just warming himself up there, the polar opposite. But Sean's got some of the strongest shoulders in Ireland. Really, is some of the strongest shoulders going around. 181 kilo log press is huge. You can just see him just strolling towards the first one. At 120 kilos, he should make light work of this. The big question is, though, how fast can he get through these reps?
Do we know what Sean's best lift is?
Sean's best lift is the Irish record, and it's 181 kilos.
That's impressive.
Very, very impressive. Very easy clean, and strict pressed it.
Yeah, very nice technique.
Yeah. He's very comfortable with this, and he's smart. He's just taking his time, going between each one of the lifts. Strict press that one as well. Seemed to struggle a little with this. Let's see if he goes to a push press on this next one.
Do you think he knows that just lifting all 4 might be enough here?
I think so.
Great,
I've never seen a log medley before. I like it.
It's good, really good. I hope he can get this, especially if he can do strict this. I'll be hugely impressed.
Here we go. Come on, Sean. No, he didn't lock it out. So the referee has not given him the signal.
So I think he locked it out, but it was a quick press and it wasn't controlled in the way that the referee would have liked to have seen. We saw something similar with Rechkovsky at the Log Lift Championships last year.
There we go. Get signal from the referee.
The thing though is, just get that time for you now, guys.
Completed in 1 minute and 12 seconds.
1 minute and 12 seconds. Something that's worth noting there is some people really struggle, especially with the log, which can be quite an awkward implement if you're not used to it, with the push press on there. And Sean looked much more comfortable strict pressing it than he did ever on the push press. No, there's a little bit of confusion over which
Sean O'Hagan has his record.
Yeah, it's the Sean O'Hagan that does have the record is this one that's just done that.
So Giant Sean, well, let's call him Giant Sean because he is the biggest man I've ever seen.
Giant Sean doesn't have the log lift record, but it
is that him in the blue over there?
That's him in the blue over there.
Right, I'm going to try and get Giant Sean to come over here in a bit because I want to see how tall he really is. Is he actually 7 foot tall? I don't know.
I think he might be 7 foot tall.
Right, I'm going to go and get a tape measure. I'm going to measure 7 foot against that wall. I'm going to get him over here and put him on the camera, and we're going to find out.
Also,
I've never seen a 7 foot tall person.
Big Chris McNaughton.
So no, I can tell you that is the Sean O'Hagan that's got the log lift record.
I'm just confirming there, Chris, if you missed it earlier, that John Kelly is only 1 point ahead, but he's in the lead at the moment.
Yeah, no, got it on.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Chris McNaughton. Come on.
Chris McNaughton, who appears to be Welsh.
Easy.
How is that looking, Chris?
It looks comfortable. It's nice seeing him using a push press as well.
Explain that to me. I don't know what a push press
so
is.
The push press is where you use your legs a little bit to get a bit more of a drive. That was just a... So that was what you'd call sort of more of a viper press or a single motion where he didn't...
That looked really difficult doing it that way. I mean...
He didn't... Usually these guys clean it to the shoulders, then pause. With that last one, he didn't set his feet, didn't do anything. He just wrapped it up. That...
didn't look to me like he locked that out.
No, close. I think it's just this where just triceps really comes into it. It's that final last little bit.
Well, these guys have been through a lot, but I thought we were near the end, but we're not. We've still got another 2 events after this.
2 more events.
I mean...
And 2 tough events.
Well, Chris.
I mean, he's got...
he's very, very angry himself there. He obviously knows he can do a lot better than that, but, you know, it's just not his day. And it is very cold here. I have to be honest with you. I'm freezing, Chris. So,
we're a little bit nippy ourselves.
And so there's... With a day that's this long, we started at 1, we're into our second hour now. It's just,
we're on 3:11 now.
Yeah.
And it's a long day for these guys. The other thing as well is something like this, the equipment you use in your gym and the equipment you use on a competition day is very, very different.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's already done the previous events, obviously, and we don't know how long it's taken to get here, what time to get up this morning to get here. And also, you know, the temperature does make a huge difference.
Oh, huge difference. Also, apologise for butchering everybody's names. I
think it's Dyer, mate.
Dyer.
Yeah, I shouldn't really be correcting you on how to say these things because I can't pronounce any of the names, but I'm fairly sure it's that. I've never heard of a called Par. Is it Par? P-A?
I imagine it's short for Patrick.
Oh, okay, well that makes sense. Okay, is this John?
So this is John.
He's the current leader.
John
Let's
Kelly.
see what he can do.
So he's 1 point in the lead. He's very easy there with that strict. Again though, 120 kilos isn't that heavy for these guys. So you should be expecting to see them make light work of this. 135 though, getting up.
Okay, he's not have a problem at the top there. That was impressive.
Very, very impressive. It's good to see these guys comfortable with these weights. Oh, little pause there. Take his time, a little sit.
No, he just couldn't clean it up.
Struggling with his belt there. It's getting caught on it. A belt can be a big advantage. Oh, I hope that's not another injury. I think he's okay.
He seems to be looking to see what it is that's getting caught in his belt.
Yeah. It can be a real struggle with something like this. A belt can be a big advantage with the press, but it can definitely get in the way with the clean. The same with the elbow sleeves. Look, it's getting caught on it and his knee's starting to wobble. It's just not worth it for him.
Opening the door.
Again though, as we've said, he's a much of a faster competitor than he is a static lifter. But this could be a really good chance for Pato Dyer. Pat Dyer is not a Pato, it's just Dyer. Pat Dyer.
What?
Anyway, we're here.
It's written in front of you there, look.
Yeah, right there.
Pato Dyer.
Pato Dyer. So this is going to be a really good chance for him to make a big comeback. He's only 1 point behind.
Yeah, this will make a big swing falling to the last two events.
And he only has to, all he has to do is lift 3 logs to get there.
I'm going to ask the head of proceedings here, Dave, to come and tell us how to pronounce these names. Parodire, there you go. The whistle's gone. Here he is in his first log. Now, time really isn't an issue here because
it doesn't matter
just
how long
getting
it
to
takes,
that,
he just
if
needs
he
to
can just
finish.
get to all 4 or finish the third one, that'll push him ahead.
Well ahead. The big difference here, though, is you can see he's doing like a split jerk and a push jerk. He's dipping it and then double dipping underneath it. So he's sort of catching the weight a little bit lower. If he can get the timing on it, it's going to make a big difference and he's going to find it a lot easier. But if he struggles with it, it can set you off a little bit.
As with all these things, the technique is so important.
Absolutely vital.
The strength is everything in strongman. But then you suddenly see someone this stage when they're a bit tired and there's having that practice they put in.
And it's key ensuring that your form stays the same as it does on the first rep as it does with the last. But that clean looks comfortable. If he can set himself up a good base, no.
He won't be lifting that.
Walking away with that one. It's going to be interesting.
Great effort there.
Great effort.
So that did not go as expected. We really thought we'd see someone at the end here.
Well, we did. Sean O'Hagan got to the end.
He did. But that's only one of the 4 guys left who could do it.
No, not as we expected. I thought there would be more. But we'll get on to the shield carry next, which is going to be a very, very interesting event. Something that's going to... It's one that's definitely going to reward the fitter guys, which is going to play very much to Johnny Kelly's strengths.
He's still out of breath over there, sitting on the chair. I can see him. He's that log really took something out of him, you know.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all.
So we've got a nice little audience turned up to watch here.
Yeah, no, it's good turnout.
So we're at Crossfit Causeway. It's a CrossFit gym, but it's also in an indoor soccer centre. It's in a place called Coleraine, which is near Port Rush in Northern Ireland. Lovely weather in Ireland as usual. It's raining again. Beautiful countryside on the way here.
Yeah.
Lovely part of the world.
No, and there seems to be a lot of interest in strongman over here.
Yeah, for such a small country, it's like, well, say small country, it's part of the United Kingdom, but Ireland itself, like anyone can come from Ireland, and it's amazing, isn't it, how many people reside over here in the Emerald Isles. Let's have a little chat with Dave Warner, the master of ceremonies. Dave Warner, former World's Strongest Man competitor. How's it going today, Dave?
Yeah, going very well. We're just short of a few competitors, really, but we've really raised the bar in terms of the weight of what we're doing here. The standard in Ireland and Northern Ireland is under pressure, really, to jump up a level or two.
So what do you think about this log medley? I can't believe that we have one guy managing to finish there, struggling towards the end.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the lads are completely exhausted from what they've done. They've just done a shoulder event, which was the forward hold, and for them to be asked to do this now is a big ask. So, fair play to Big Sean O'Hagan getting all 4 logs. That's quite an achievement. Yeah, and so where does that leave us with this leaderboard at the moment? It looks like it's still very, very, very close between John Kelly and Parodire. Yeah, well, Johnny O'Kelly and Parodire are going to be hard to separate. They really are. It's going to come down to the stones. End of. That's how it should be in any decent strongman contest, right down to the last event. Yeah. Fabulous. Can't wait to see what happens. Definitely. Okay, I'll get back to my job. Thanks, Dave.
So we're just going to set up now the next event, which is the shield carry, 180 kilos, which is a very, very, very heavy shield carry, especially in contrast to sort of, like Dave was saying there, he's really pushed the weights up on these, but even so, things like 165 kilo logs aren't quite as impressive as 180 kilo shield carry is big. Guys, we do apologise for our pronunciation. We are trying. But thank you to thank you to that whoever's put it forward of how to pronounce it. Dwyer, we've got that. We'll be away. And the man that fell was Sean O'Hagan, but he's come back and he's looking absolutely fine. But yeah, just took a little bit of a tumble. Oh, and then it could have been also Chris McNaden took a slight tumble on the sword carry, but he also seemed to be absolutely fine. Obviously, like we said, it's a long, long day of competing and it's taking its toll on them. But yeah, we'll be setting up the shield carry for these guys now, just letting them get on with that. So we're just going to move that camera, set it up into a slightly better area. And I think we need to just change the battery on that. Oh, we're okay. So, and just while they're doing it, so Johnny Kelly's just on the floor, stretching, warming up. We'll try and get you the current final standing something, just as quickly as we can. And then Shield Carry is the penultimate event, followed by the Stones. I think the Stones, I genuinely think it might come down to the Stones. John Kelly's probably going to be coming into this the favourite for the carry. He's very fit, very fast, and a good mover. But it's all to play for very much when it comes onto that, onto the Stones. Paz got might has the slight height advantage on him. So guys, just won't be long, just a few moments. Just as these guys are just setting up, we appreciate you bearing with us. I know there's a few things that but we're working to get. It all comes down to just practice, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And guys, again, we apologise for mispronouncing his name. Ha!
John Kelly.
Just a sec. Ha! So guys, we've come up with the only solution we could think of, which is to get Pat to come over here and teach us how to say his name properly. So go on, Pat, how are we saying it?
It's Dwyer.
Dwyer?
Dwyer, yeah. Wait, how are you pronouncing it?
Horribly, just horribly the whole day. Oh, Dwyer.
Oh, Dwyer, yeah.
I mean, that's simple. We could, yeah, okay. Guys, we apologise, that was simple. We could definitely have done that. How are you feeling? You're doing really well, mate.
Not too bad now. I was outside a second ago and I puked my ring up, so that's not going to help.
I think now we're just having a quick look over again on the log, seeing about the lockout and the timing. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just kind of close enough between myself and Johnny.
What's your 1 rep max log?
My log is shite, actually. It's the one event I don't really like. My 1 rep max in the log would be 150, 155, I'd say, but my axle is up in 180 kilos. I just can't get it to...
What was that event you were at, where you were pressing 135 for fun?
Yeah, the axle. Yeah, I love the axle, yeah. That's what I'm saying. On the axle I press 180, but on the log I just can't get them to...
Is that a technique thing, do you think?
I think it's stable, just kind of not doing the log, you know.
What about the Stones and the Shield? How are you feeling about that?
I won the Shield the last time I was here, so hopefully but it's a different Shield this year, so hopefully it'll go well enough for me. And the Stones, I'm good enough in Stones. You have to be kind of ignorant to do these Stones. And
you've got a slight height advantage, I think, on Johnny, haven't you?
Sorry?
Have you got a slight height advantage on Johnny?
Slight advantage, yeah, but Johnny's good at Stones as well. Johnny's doing Stones a long time before I was doing them, so he's a good advantage now. Johnny's a great stone lifter.
There's only, I think, there's a point in it just before this
log.
1
point in it before this log now, but
see how it goes.
Hopefully I have him.
So yeah, guys, what we're doing at the moment is we're just keeping a quick check to see about the lockout on the log, just to see about, because obviously with it being so close and so much on the line, just to see who got the lockout first, etc. And then we'll get straight onto that shield carry. But Pat, thank you for your time. It's been a great pleasure. And mate, Pat O'Dwyer. Pat O'Dwyer. Thank you, ladies. So guys, we finally got that back. Once James has finished sorting this out, I'll tell him as well, and we'll be back away with it. So James, you were just busy there getting up, showing.
I was helping the referees with a video replay there to make sure there's some timing questions, to making sure who actually was the quickest to get the second log back down to the floor there. So what happened there?
So what with Pa? We just brought Pa over to teach us how to say his name properly.
Oh, quick. What?
Pa O'Dwyer.
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 Well, that's really obvious now you said it, isn't it?
That's why I was like, damn, that is really simple.
Well, hopefully Marty will not ruin his weekend because we've been pronouncing his name wrong.
Yeah, Marty, we do apologise. But so what was the end result then of the log?
I'm not exactly sure because it was really close, but there's been retimed 25 seconds. They're pretty much within a second of each other. We're going to get the official response back very shortly from our scorekeeper.
We're
Here
just
we go.
waiting on that now, guys.
Dave's explaining it now.
Which was just an error because at some shows they do it on number of logs, sometimes they do it on split time. We have to use split time options because we are working to World's Strongest Man rules. So I can tell you that Johnny Kelly won the log press because he pressed the 2 logs in the fastest time. Sorry, came second in the log press. So he won out of Padua, but the winner was Big Sean O'Hagan, the only man I told you to press the 150 log. And after everything he's done today, the biggest log press for no reason at all. He's a monster.
Yeah, so confirmation there. Sean O'Hagan obviously the winner, but in second place, John Kay. Okay, we're just getting set for the shield carry now. And I'll ask our lovely scorekeeper Denise to give us the latest leaderboard so we can find out if there's been a movement from first place. Dave Warner, of course, is a referee at Britain's Strongest Man and Europe's Strongest Man. He came over to Sweden this year as well and helped referee the Giants Live event there, which was a really exciting event.
First direct arena in Leeds this year, a massive show, the biggest strongman event ever to take place.
So guys, I've got some news for you on the final standings. Johnny, they're still being written out, so I'm afraid I've only got the top 2 guys. But Johnny Kelly is in the lead with 18 points, and Pa O'Dwyer is in second place with 16 points.
So John Kelly just doing enough there, literally 1 second in it.
Yeah, that's it.
That could have been a nice swing.
Here we are, guys, we have the full scores here.
Okay, in fourth place, Chris McNaughton. He has 7.5 points. Leading him, Sean O'Hagan, who has 9 points in third position. Pa O'Dwyer is in second place with 16 points. And as Chris just told you, John Kelly is first with 18. 2 points in it, 2 events to go. It's clearly going to come down to John Kelly and Mr. O'Dwyer here. I think this is just going to come down to who's got the best fitness, quite frankly.
And I hate to say it, and I think Pa was saying the same thing. Well, I don't hate to say it at all. I think he's very impressive. But I think that's going to come down to Johnny Kelly. Very, very fit guy, known for his speed, known for his athleticism. And
just like a rugby player.
Yeah.
4 guys left in this show, and based on the performance in the log press, we'll bring out the running order. The running order for the shield carry. First man out is going to be Chris McNaughton. Second man out is Ben Wilson. So,
That giant guy over there is on his third sandwich, Chris.
Is he?
Yeah, I've been watching him. I want to know what a guy that size eats.
Have you ever seen there's a video of Robert Oberst doing his 20,000 calorie day or something?
See, I thought that was just some marketing gimmick, some sort of Facebook entertaining thing, but he still seems to be holding to it, doesn't he?
I don't know, like, Eddie Hall says he's on 12,000.
I saw Eddie Hall polishing off an apple, telling that was the end of his 12,000 calories for the day in response to that Robert Oberst piece of social media. Robert Oberst, obviously, is a massive guy. I believe he's 6'10". Said he was, pulling some good numbers on the log, but when it come to it, it didn't happen.
No, it was a shame.
He was actually quite worried about the... after all the beef that he created with Eddie Hall, he was slightly concerned when he got to Doncaster and saw the look in the eyes of some of those members in the crowd and said to me, is there any chance a bottle could be thrown at me? I don't think he really understands England at all, but...
I don't think he did either.
He seemed like a very nice chap.
He did seem like a nice chap. So Chris McNaughton will be up first.
Okay, so Scott's correcting me again. Thanks, Scott. Oberst is not 6'10". He's 6'7" or 8.
Still, that's huge. Plus, beard adds a lot of calories to your day.
He picked me up and put me on his shoulder,
Yeah, you said.
And a very big beard.
So, here we have Chris McNaughton stepping up.
Is there a particular technique to how you grip this thing? Do you lock your hands together?
Locking your hands together can be advantageous. It depends on the width of the shield. This one's quite a narrow one because it's so dense. But you have to do a sort of duck walk with it, sort of a nice little waddle, and it's so important to get across that line, step over. Similar to sort of, if any of you have done like the bleep test or anything like that, it's like a similar premise, but with a giant 180 kilo weight in your hand. When we say 180 kilos, that's like someone picking up Thor. It's like picking up Thor and going for a walk with him. It's ridiculous.
How much do you weigh, Chris?
I weigh 80 kilos.
I'm about 85, probably. So that's 2 of us is not enough.
No, nowhere near. I mean, there's 2 guys now, you can just see them struggling themselves to pick it up and move it. It's phenomenal weight.
That's fairly impressive, though. Almost made it 2 times.
No, really, really impressive. So we're going to have Sean O'Hagan, I believe, up next.
No.
I know, Pa O'Dwyer.
Pa O'Dwyer.
Right. Does that... Oh, of course. Sorry, that was going off overall points.
Yeah, I think it's based on the last event.
So there's Pi, he's obviously going for the technique of move as fast as you can and keep it in while you've got air in your lungs. The thing that's so difficult about an event like this is you have to press it against your chest and it just takes away all of your oxygen.
This is impressive though, now 2.5 times.
Very fast.
Keep going, look up to the sky there. He's got such endurance, this guy. I mean, earlier on I thought he was going to last 5 seconds on that Thor's hammer, and he still just
kept
marched through it. He's an impressive individual.
He's got very long arms as well, which on this seems to be a bit of an advantage. He can really lock his arms in. And the fact that his lats are so massive, he seems to just be resting his arms on them. Huge effort.
That was very, very good.
Very, very impressive. Took the lead there.
.2 meters. With that amount of turns in that way, that's world class. It really is very, very good. Guys, been familiar with it, but don't have as many turns.
So next up is going to be Johnny Kelly, sorry. Something else that's always worth mentioning is...
Are you sure?
Yeah, Johnny Kelly's up next.
The other guy looks like he's getting ready, that's all.
Yeah.
No, here he comes, John. Johnny Kelly doing very well here, 2 points in the lead.
Paz definitely set a benchmark.
He has.
for him,
He's really put a statement down there. That's a long way to go to beat. How many times do we think he went?
I think he was that 3? 3 in a little few paces.
Over 3.5, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, can he do it?
He's going to, if he really wants to set a good precedent, he's going to have to go about 4. I don't think this is going to be Sean O'Hagan's event, so Paz probably the guy to beat.
Let's see. He's off, moving very well, as I would expect from this big man.
Trick to remember to breathe here, Chris, because if you're going down this course, breath at the beginning.
The other thing as well, though, is, as I said, it's just so hot. You're having to pull that into your chest, and it sucks all of the air out of your lungs.
Well, here we go. This is it now. If he can make it past the photographer, he's made it.
So there we are, and is that his 3rd? Oh, he's got to get a little bit more. He's got it. He's basically curling the weight.
Let's get past the photographer. Get past the photographer. He's done it. I think he's done it. Oh my God, that's impressive.
Oh, it's hugely impressive. That just goes to show the tenacity there. He just had it in his hand.
He sort of caught it on the way down and then just... Wow. Johnny Kelly, he is a fit man.
Stubborn as well, I've got to give him
very
that.
Stubborn. I don't think there's any doubt here that was past... 60.1.
Very impressive. So guys, what we've got is our current... So Chris McNaughton with 21.7 meters. Then in second place, Paolo Dwyer, 58.2. Johnny Kelly, 60.1. 2 meters to take
2 meters in it. 1.9 meters, unbelievable.
And here we have now our final competitor, Sean O'Hagan.
It's quite a relaxed look on his face.
Yeah, he seems very comfortable with this.
The turn was a little bit slow, a little bit tough.
He's got it very, very, very high up his chest. Ooh. He got 30 meters though, I think.
But we can simply say that the winner of yet another one of our events, the shield carry, is Johnny Kelly.
So is that now 3 wins for Johnny Kelly?
Yep, he's steaming ahead.
Steaming ahead. 1 win for Paolo Dwyer. So here we have the final results of that. We have in last place, Chris McNaughton with 21.7 meters. Sean O'Hagan, 25.2. Paolo Dwyer, 58.2. And then Johnny Kelly, 60.1.
Okay, so I'm just going to go and change the batteries in the camera, Chris, because I'm worried they're going to run out in the middle of the stones.
Yeah, last thing we want.
So excuse me while I go and do that. And we'll move on to the last event.
Would you stop that recording? So guys, our last event now is the Stones. Very, very, very interesting event, mainly because everybody loves a good Stones. So we're starting off with 100 kilos, very, very light for these guys. Then moving on to 115 kilos. Then finishing off, then 140, 160, and 180. 180 kilo stone is heavy, very, very heavy, guys. Obviously these guys are tacking up, etc., but still big weights. I mean, as we've said before, even at Europe's Strongest Man, many of the guys struggled to lift the 200, and I think a few guys failed the 180. It's a big mark. I mean,
So anybody who believes these stones gets the all 5 stones up is a worthy entrance to Britain's Strongest Man. And we'll find out very, very shortly. The last 1 minute attacking on.
Sorry about that, guys. Very early morning for us this morning. So Chris McNathan is in 4th place with 8.5 points. In 3rd place is Sean O'Hagan with 11 points. Power Dwyer in 2nd place with 19 points, and Johnny Kelly in 1st place with 22 points. So there's that one for you guys. Oh, wrong one. Thank you. So apparently Johnny Kelly is a phenomenal stone lifter. Very interesting to see how he does in this. This obviously as well, that first platform, as James, you can just see James moving the camera into the way. The first platform is very high. It's not going to be an easy one for these guys to get. So taller guys are definitely going to have an advantage. Power Dwyer there, as we were talking to him earlier, he will have an advantage on something like this. Sean Hagan, the shortest guy left in the field, will struggle a little bit. Johnny Kelly isn't the tallest of competitors. He is a very good stone lifter.
First man out on the stones.
So Chris McNatt will be the first man up on the stones. I think he's just tacking himself up now, getting himself ready.
The third man out on the stones with Wire. And last man out.
Just getting ourselves a better angle for the event, guys.
For the event here, Johnny Kelly.
So guys, as we've mentioned many times before, get yourselves over to officialstrongman.com, have a look at the rankings, see where these guys compare. It's definitely worth a look. Get yourselves on, guys. We've had a big influx this morning of people signing up. We just want, obviously, as many people as we can, just to promote the sport, get as many people lifting weights. And obviously, the fact that we'll be doing a big competition later this year that we'll talk about later.
So if you give us a couple of minutes together, if you want to go for a cup of tea, try that as it. What I said before, come in the car, now's the time. I will get these guys together, they just need to limber up and have a crack at these 5.
That's better. Where it'd be better would be the other side, but I don't think it was. Sorry guys, just having some technical details on which way we think would be a better view. Just working our way through, we want to get the best angle of these guys lifting that 180 kilo stone. So that's going to be a real challenge for these guys. And yeah, I'm afraid there'll just be a few minute wait just while we get these guys prepped, get them ready. Attacking up does just take a few moments of time, but nothing too drastic, and we'll be with you shortly. Just move that better angle.